Taking risks doesn't mean shirking responsibility, but embracing possibilities. It's in responsibility that most people find the meaning that sustains them through life. It's not in happiness. It's not in impulsive pleasure. The responsibility of tolerance lies with those who have the wider vision. Most people do not really want freedom, because freedom involves responsibility, and most people are frightened of responsibility. We are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. Pets are humanizing. They remind us we have an obligation and responsibility to preserve and nurture and care for all life. With awareness come responsibility and choice. The cardinal responsibility of leadership is to identify the dominant contradiction at each point of the historical process and to work out a central line to resolve it. Quality is everyone's responsibility. The greatest day in your life and mine is when we take total responsibility for our attitudes. That's the day we truly grow up. Women will only have true equality when men share with them the responsibility of bringing up the next generation. The willingness to accept responsibility for one's own life is the source from which self-respect springs. A man who becomes conscious of the responsibility he bears toward a human being who affectionately waits for him, or to an unfinished work, will never be able to throw away his life. He knows the why for his existence, and will be able to bear almost any how. Responsibility is the price of freedom. Behind the ostensible government sits enthroned an invisible government owing no allegiance and acknowledging no responsibility to the people. Where globalization means, as it so often does, that the rich and powerful now have new means to further enrich and empower themselves at the cost of the poorer and weaker, we have a responsibility to protest in the name of universal freedom. We have a shared destiny, a shared responsibility to save the world from those who attempt to destroy it. The last thing my father told me was, "On your way up, take me up. On your way down, don't let me down." A father telling his son that put some responsibility on my shoulders. He told me that, and I take it very seriously. Wherever you are, be there totally. If you find your here and now intolerable and it makes you unhappy, you have three options: remove yourself from the situation, change it, or accept it totally. If you want to take responsibility for your life, you must choose one of those three options, and you must choose now. Then accept the consequences. The game is my wife. It demands loyalty and responsibility, and it gives me back fulfillment and peace. You cannot hope to build a better world without improving the individuals. To that end, each of us must work for his own improvement and, at the same time, share a general responsibility for all humanity, our particular duty being to aid those to whom we think we can be most useful. The day you take complete responsibility for yourself, the day you stop making any excuses, that's the day you start to the top. Until the great mass of the people shall be filled with the sense of responsibility for each other's welfare, social justice can never be attained. A hero is someone who understands the responsibility that comes with his freedom. The greatest gifts you can give your children are the roots of responsibility and the wings of independence. Climate change knows no borders. It will not stop before the Pacific Islands, and the whole of the international community here has to shoulder a responsibility to bring about a sustainable development. Find joy in everything you choose to do. Every job, relationship, home, it's your responsibility to love it, or change it. The price of greatness is responsibility. Friendship is always a sweet responsibility, never an opportunity. Everybody is responsible for their own actions. It's easy to point the finger at somebody else. But a real man, a real woman, a real person knows when it's time to take the blame and when to take responsibility for their own actions. Rank does not confer privilege or give power. It imposes responsibility. Successful people have a social responsibility to make the world a better place and not just take from it. An expert is somebody who is more than 50 miles from home, has no responsibility for implementing the advice he gives, and shows slides. Leadership is about taking responsibility, not making excuses. Sustainability is not just about adopting the latest energy-efficient technologies or turning to renewable sources of power. Sustainability is the responsibility of every individual every day. It is about changing our behavior and mindset to reduce power and water consumption, thereby helping to control emissions and pollution levels. Government is like a baby, an alimentary canal with a big appetite at one end and no sense of responsibility at the other. Let us not seek the Republican answer or the Democratic answer, but the right answer. Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past. Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. Don't worry about the pressure or the responsibility. Just live in it, have fun, and when everything seems to be going right, just stay humble and remember your family. All religions and all communities have the same rights, and it is my responsibility to ensure their complete and total protection. My government will not tolerate or accept any discrimination based on caste, creed, and religion. The most important thing about global warming is this: whether humans are responsible for the bulk of climate change is going to be left to the scientists. But it's all of our responsibility to leave this planet in better shape for the future generations than we found it. Life is a gift, and it offers us the privilege, opportunity, and responsibility to give something back by becoming more. Few things can help an individual more than to place responsibility on him, and to let him know that you trust him. Freedom makes a huge requirement of every human being. With freedom comes responsibility. For the person who is unwilling to grow up, the person who does not want to carry his own weight, this is a frightening prospect. Feeling compassion for ourselves in no way releases us from responsibility for our actions. Rather, it releases us from the self-hatred that prevents us from responding to our life with clarity and balance. There is nothing here that's broken that can't be fixed, but it won't happen on its own. It's going to require a huge lift by the entire country of the United States of America and people on the ground taking personal responsibility for themselves. You cannot take it as a fait accompli that the city's going to come back. We all have a responsibility to try and make this world better, whether it's through our work, the causes we champion, the way that we treat people, or the values we impart to the next generation. Chess helps you to concentrate, improve your logic. It teaches you to play by the rules and take responsibility for your actions, how to problem solve in an uncertain environment. Child abuse and neglect offend the basic values of our state. We have a responsibility to provide safe settings for at-risk children and facilitate permanent placement for children who cannot return home. I believe I have a personal responsibility to make a positive impact on society. Accept responsibility for your life. Know that it is you who will get you where you want to go, no one else. Visit our website for more quotes, quoting.com.